Lantern! Pick on someone your own size!
Hey everybody, it's Martian here. This is going to be my Supergirl Martian Manhunter episode review. This is like the new Martian Chronicles episode, as that's what they're calling it. I did not like this episode, and there's so many reasons why. It was terrible! I mean, there was moments where I thought, oh, that's a cool moment, or hey, they did really good on the CGI in this episode, but it's mostly just a bad episode, and I'm going to tell you why as we break down the episode. But I am going to do some other videos. The Flash review is coming up tomorrow. Powerless should be up today, maybe. Legends of Tomorrow is going to be up tomorrow. And then I also have a Flash Gorilla City explainer video coming up as well for the episode that's coming back for the two-part event. But anyway, let's get back to Supergirl. So yes, this episode... oh my. So Kara, let's get the relationship stuff out of the way. Mon-El was rejected by Kara another time in this episode, and then Kara ends up revealing that she does have feelings for Mon-El, so she wants to go tell him. He ends up dating Miss Tessmacher. What? And then it's like this whole like whirlpool of feelings for Kara, and she feels awful about it. How ridiculous. It's like we've gone through this so many times with Kara that I feel like it's just a routine now. And I don't know how I feel about her liking Mon-El anyway. It's a mess really right now. I hope they fix it in the next few episodes. But anyway, Martian Manhunters was, Martian Manhunter and Miss Martian, they were the real highlights of this episode. I mean, they did so well in this episode. Martian Manhunter in particular was the best character, I believe, in this episode, and I really do, I am truthful when I say that. But John tries to convince Megan to stay with them, with the DEO, while the White Martians are at large. I do like how this all plays out with the DEO, which we will talk about, but I do like how John kept pressing Megan about it. Megan ends up leaving at the end of the episode, which was sad. It's like, wait a minute, you're gonna go back to Mars. The White Martians are there, and you're probably gonna die. That makes sense. So that was another thing I was just like, wait a minute, it doesn't make sense to me why they would do that in this episode. But I think they're trying to set it up where Megan isn't in every episode, and if they can't explain why she's not always with them, then it just doesn't make sense. So I guess that worked, but at the same time, it just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't flow right to me. Like, it didn't sit right to me that they had to send her back to the place where she's trying to, like, avoid. I don't know, it just didn't work with me. But I did like Megan quite a bit, and I also like how he called her Miss Martian, like Jean called her Miss Martian at the end of the episode. That was so good. So I like that, but at the end of the day, it's I don't know how I feel about Miss Martian right now. I also liked how Alex was this episode. I thought that the Alex arc was pretty interesting. I like how she, wanted to be with her, girlfriend, wanted to be with Maggie, but also wanted to be with Kara at the same time. And it's just this whole, am I loyal to Kara first, or do I want to spend time with Maggie? I don't know. It's weird. She'll have to figure that out as she goes along, with having a relationship and being related to Supergirl. So we'll have to see. But I liked that. Now, I hated the plot twist of this episode. The White Martian thing, I loved when everyone tried to figure out who was the White Martian in the room. Until it was Win. You could totally see it coming. Like, I was like, yeah, it's Win. It's like, really? Oh gosh. It was so obvious. I hated it. And then they, tried to do another plot twist where there was a second White Martian. Who is it? It's Alex. It was, really predictable. I didn't like it about the episode that it was so predictable. It was like, oh my gosh. Kill me now. It was that bad that I could predict what was going on. I did like the fight between the White Martians and the Green Martians and Supergirl. I thought that Supergirl, Martian Manhunter, and Miss Martian fighting both White Martians, that was just so spectacular. That was a really cool fight, and I do like when they do those fights and all the DEO gets the stuff in the way gets blown up and all that stuff. It's fun to see them fight in an area like that. So that was one of the parts of the episode I did enjoy. Was just that whole fight scene alone was just so fun. And I feel like both Kara and the Manhunters, the Martians, did so good with that. I felt like it was just really well done, well crafted. Now, I didn't like how Jean was approached in this episode with his weakness to fire, because, everybody knows about Martian Manhunter and other and Miss Martian and all that, their weakness is to fire. And I didn't like how they approached it here, because it wasn't much as a weakness affecting him, because fire actually messes with Martian physiology, which is crazy because Mars is like a really hot planet. But anyway, so it was weird that instead of him being affected by the fire, he was just afraid of it. And I didn't like how they kind of downplayed his weakness to fire, because he basically has no weakness. I also didn't like how they never really used their full abilities on the show. They have all these telekinetic powers. Martian Manhunter and Miss Martian have telekinetic abilities. They also have laser vision and super strength and these like stretchy abilities with their, they have elasticity in their body. Well, they don't use any of these powers. They have all these powers and they don't use them. So I'm wondering, what's the explainer for that? Like, what's going on? Like, when will they get their full powers? Now, I wanted to throw this in there because it was kind of an Easter egg, is that Kara was wearing this shirt at the end of the episode, and it was like the power of girls, or like the power with girls, and I just kept thinking about Power Girl. And if you guys don't know, in the comics, Power Girl is the Earth 2 version of Kara, so Earth 2 Kara is Power Girl instead of Supergirl. So that's hilarious, because we know Earth 2 exists because the Flash and all the other characters on the show have been there. So I wanted to throw that in there, that was kind of like a little Easter egg, but it doesn't have to be a direct Easter egg, but I wanted to throw it in there. So again, this episode was just really, I don't know. I don't know how I felt about this episode. All I can say is that it wasn't good for me. It was a bad episode for me. What do you guys think? Comment down below. So links up there to my other Supergirl videos, links down there to my Twitter, Instagram, vlog channel, and gaming channel. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.